Do you know if someone has ever pulled off the perfect crime and was never caught? Do you think it's possible for someone to vanish without a trace in today's world? Do you know who D.B. Cooper is? The story of D.B. Cooper is one of the most enduring mysteries in American crime history. It is a tale of a daring skyjacking, a meticulously planned ransom exchange, and a parachute escape that left authorities baffled for decades. Despite extensive investigations, Cooper's true identity and fate remain unknown, making this case a fascinating subject for both professional investigators and amateur sleuths alike. As we delve into the details of this legendary heist, we explore what really happened on that fateful day in 1971 and why Cooper's mystery continues to captivate the world. On November 24th, 1971, an unassuming man in his mid-40s, dressed in a dark suit, white shirt, black tie, and a trench coat, walked into Portland International Airport. Identifying himself as Dan Cooper, he purchased a one-way ticket on Northwest Airlines flight 305 to Seattle, Washington. What seemed like an ordinary transaction quickly spiraled into one of the most infamous and enduring mysteries in American history. D.B. Cooper, as the media mistakenly named him, executed the only unsolved airplane hijacking in the United States, leaving behind a legend that still captivates investigators and amateur sleuths more than 5 decades later. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. Assuming it was just another passenger's phone number, she ignored it until Cooper leaned in and whispered, "Miss, you'd better read that. I have a bomb." Startled, Schaffner read the message, which demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready upon landing in Seattle. To prove his seriousness, Cooper opened his briefcase, revealing what appeared to be sticks of dynamite and a battery. As the plane maintained a holding pattern near Seattle for over an hour, authorities scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. They secured the ransom money, $10,020 bills, whose serial numbers were meticulously recorded, and sourced the parachutes from a local skydiving school. At 5:45 p.m., more than 2 hours after the scheduled arrival, Flight 305 landed in Seattle. Cooper exchanged the passengers and 2 flight attendants for the money and parachutes, retaining only the flight crew on board. With the ransom in hand, Cooper instructed the pilots to set a course for Mexico City, specifying an altitude below 10,000 feet and a cruising speed of 170 knots. He also requested that the plane's rear air stair remain deployed, a feature unique to the Boeing 727 that would allow an individual to exit mid-flight. When the crew explained that it was not possible to take off with the stairs extended, Cooper agreed to retract them, but insisted on learning how to deploy them in the air. At 7:36 p.m., the plane departed Seattle. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper ordered flight attendant Tina Mucklow to the cockpit, telling her not to return. At 8:13 p.m., somewhere over the dense forest of Washington, the flight crew experienced a sudden movement in the aircraft, likely the moment Cooper made his daring jump. When the plane landed in Reno, Nevada, hours later, Cooper was gone. He had vanished into the night with the money, leaving behind only a clip-on tie, 8 cigarette butts, and 2 parachutes. The FBI launched an extensive search focusing on an area 40 kilometers north of Portland, Oregon, where Cooper was believed to have landed. Despite helicopters, ground searches, and multiple inquiries, no sign of Cooper or the ransom money surfaced. The case baffled investigators, and as time went on, his legend grew. In 1980, a breakthrough came when an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram discovered 3 bundles of cash totaling $5,880 along the Columbia River's Tina Bar. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, reigniting interest in the case. However, the discovery raised more questions than it answered. How did the money end up so far from the estimated jump zone? Did Cooper bury it himself? Was it washed downstream despite the river's opposing flow? To this day, no consensus exists on how the money reached its final resting place. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged regarding Cooper's identity and fate. Some believe he perished in the rugged terrain, unable to survive the harsh weather and difficult landing conditions. Others insist he succeeded and vanished into obscurity, perhaps even living a normal life under a new identity. Several suspects have been considered. 1. Robert Rackstraw, a former Army paratrooper with a criminal record. Rackstraw neither confirmed nor denied being Cooper, fueling speculation. However, his age at the time, 28, was significantly younger than eyewitness descriptions of Cooper being in his mid-40s. 2. Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Airlines employee with paratrooper experience. Christensen bore a resemblance to Cooper. His family found large sums of money in his possession after his death, though nothing definitively linked him to the hijacking. 3. Richard McCoy, a Vietnam veteran and skydiving enthusiast. McCoy hijacked a plane in a near-identical manner in 1972, demanding $500,000 before parachuting to safety. He was caught and later killed in a prison escape attempt, leading some to suspect he was Cooper. However, the flight crew who witnessed Cooper dismissed McCoy as a suspect. 4. Dwayne Weber. On his deathbed in 1995, Weber allegedly told his wife, "I am Dan Cooper." She later recalled him having nightmares about leaving fingerprints on the air stair, as well as visiting Tina Bar. A year before the money was found, however, his fingerprints did not match any found on the plane. 5. William Smith. A former railroad worker, Smith matched the physical description and shared a potential motive. His pension was lost when his employer went bankrupt. Some investigators believe the titanium particles found on Cooper's tie suggest he worked in an industry dealing with such metals, making Smith a viable suspect. Despite decades of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case in 2016, admitting that Cooper's fate may never be known. Without solid evidence, his remains, the rest of the ransom, or a credible confession, the mystery remains one of the greatest unsolved crimes in American history. Theories continue to emerge, with amateur sleuths and conspiracy theorists tirelessly analyzing every detail. Some suggest Cooper was a former CIA operative familiar with the Boeing 727 due to its use in covert operations. Others believe he was a rogue military paratrooper who knew exactly how to execute a low-altitude jump. What makes the D.B. Cooper case so compelling is its perfect blend of intrigue, meticulous planning, and a vanishing act that defies logic. Unlike many criminals, Cooper left no definitive trail, no DNA, and no witnesses to his final moments. His legend persists in books, documentaries, and even films, keeping his story alive. What do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Do you believe he survived the jump, or did he meet his fate in the wilderness? Could one of the known suspects be the real Cooper, or was it someone entirely unknown? And how did the ransom money turn up at Tina Bar nearly a decade later? The mystery remains, and perhaps one day, a new clue will emerge to finally solve this case. D.B. Cooper's story is not just about a crime. It's about the intrigue of the unknown. It represents the perfect heist, one where the culprit seemingly vanished without a trace, leaving the world to speculate endlessly about his identity and fate. Whether he perished in the wilderness or disappeared into a new life, the legend of D.B. Cooper endures as a symbol of mystery, adventure, and audacity. As long as his fate remains uncertain, his story will continue to inspire curiosity, debate, and an insatiable quest for the truth. If you've made it this far, we truly appreciate you taking the time to watch the story. As a new channel, Wet Gloves values your feedback more than anything. Let us know in the comments what you enjoyed about this video and how we can make our content even better for you. Your support through subscriptions and notifications means everything to us. It's what allows us to keep bringing you these compelling stories every Tuesday. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. This is Liam, and I'll see you next time.